Hello and welcome back to KSP at Astra. Today we are building a farm above Minmus. Yes, above Minmus. So here's the farm unit. It's being launched on a Phoenix 2 rocket, and it will be on its way to Minmus pretty much as soon as we can possibly get it up there. So right now we're just angling, pitching over our rocket so that it, can reach where we need it to go. Basically doing a thing called a gravity turn, because you're basically just missing the Earth or Kerbin repeatedly when you go into orbit. You have to go sideways very fast. Pitching over helps you go sideways very fast at a more efficient angle. Here we are. We separated the two stages there. There was a little bit of a fuel issue starting off that stage. But now we have the second stage on its way to, well, low Kerbin orbit, as it fires up its engine. And then in the top right hand corner, you will see our first stage currently coming down to the atmosphere, and multiple engines are lost. We end up tumbling. And then I try to flip it around with the RCS, but that just ends up running out more fuel that could be used. Plus, we only have two engines. They aren't even in the center. So I try to fire them up, and then it just crashes. We were able to recover some parts, but not what we really needed. Our upper stage is about to kick our entire craft up to Minmus in a very quick burn. Not really all that quick, but in a pretty good burn that will send it very, very, very far from the surface of Kerbin. And these plants will be used to forever supply Kerbals with supplies. And there we go. We have kicked it out to where we need to go. Although it's not exactly where we need it to be, so we have to do a small course correction while we are on our way there. There's our course correction, and now we are just going to plan the next maneuver. The next maneuver will help it drop down to a low Minmus orbit, or help us start out from a lower Minmus orbit. So we have to do another correction burn. So now we are decently far away from Kerbin, and then there's our small little correction burn, and then we can plan our final burn for around Minmus. There it is. There we are planning, and that's a pretty good orbit plan right there. But now that we have figured that out, we needed to set a timer for when it will go off because we have other missions to do. Like, we need to figure out what's going on with Mercury 1. So Mercury 1 was meant for Moho, but there's a slight issue. I don't know where Moho is yet. I have not solved that issue, so I had to set up a new burn. And to do that, we needed to watch Surya 1. Surya 1 is named after the Hindu goddess of sight, and Surya 1 is going to help find Moho for us, or at least it will be one of the rockets that will help us find Moho. As we pitch over and we send it up into the upper atmosphere with our gravity turn, I explained earlier on, it will launch, and then we will basically just fire our engine as hard as we can in the direction of getting us into a circular orbit. Now, the reason why I chose to have research bodies in this mod pack, I don't know why, but I thought it'd be cool. Now it's just kind of being a little bit of a pest, because then I kind of thought to myself, wait, wouldn't a spacefaring civilization in their own solar system already know where all the planets are? Yeah. It took me a second there. I feel like research bodies was a dumb thing to add, but it gives us more science, so we're doing it. I thought it would be something that would help lengthen out the length of the series, but now I just kind of find it as a nuisance for doing exactly that. So now I'm going to move the first stage back so that it can re-enter the atmosphere, and we can basically get some money back for this, because we did not get any money back for the first stage on this one or the last launch, which is, you know, not what you want. You want money. So here's our first stage. Currently, it just re-entered the atmosphere, and now it's parachuting down to the surface. And here we are with the probe itself on its way out into the solar system, free of Kerbin's gravity. Now, I had to do some research body stuff, but it wasn't enough, so we needed Surya 2. Surya 2 is here to launch, or here to go into very, very, very elliptical orbit around the sun, so it can get around Kerbal, to get as many research body nodes as we can possibly do it. It's going to have a very, like when I said elliptical, it's going to be a very elliptical orbit. Is going to dip down near the sun or Kerbal, and then it will basically go up to about where Joule is when I finish its final burn. Yep, here we go. That's our first stage out of propellant. Our second stage will also run out of propellant from what we're going to do. There we go. We are in a stable orbit. Now we need to get ourselves all the way out of the out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. We also did this in a polar orbit. That was kind of dumb, but I thought it would be a fun little thing to have done. Totally forgot to mention that. Yeah. Here we go. It was way more what's it called, it was very inefficient to do it that way. I don't know why I did it, but why not? That's what this whole series is, really. Anyway, there is our orbit around the sun, or Kerbal. I'm just gonna keep calling it the sun. But we need to bring it to be as low as possible. So we are going to need to use multiple stages to fire. We have to fire multiple stages on our way. So here we go. We are going to time warp out of the system and then basically just burn like hell. This burn took a decent minute here. It was just going about as hard as possible. If you wanted to see this live, this whole thing was streamed live. It was on a live stream. It was streamed about a week ago, I think. Yeah, it should be a week ago now. And yeah, if you want to watch that, it is fully available in VOD form. Go watch it if you want. I'll leave it linked in the description. But here is our very, very, very lengthy burn for our very, very powerful telescope. As you can see, I'm doing the track bodies for this thing so that we can get as much info as we can about as many bodies in the solar system as we possibly can. And we need to get much, much, much closer to Moho in order for us to see Moho. Thankfully, this mission, because of its really, really, really elliptical orbit, it will get us down there very quickly. It will also help get us our very, very extended orbit to Joule once we reach the bottom. Now, Our next launch vehicle, or not launch vehicle, our next mission we are going to focus on is Mercury again, because we have to do a small little correction burn to circularize our orbit out so that we don't leave the area where Moho is. We have more than enough fuel to reach Moho in a decent amount of time. I just want to keep Mercury in a place where it can reach Moho in a decent amount of time, which is why we are doing this burn. As you can see, this burn is going to be a tad bit expensive. It will get rid of multiple things that we have built for this craft. So to see those solar panels and those side tanks right there, that is all going to be expended on this little burn. So we are burning as fast as we possibly can. And as you can tell, this is a Moho lander, so it's going to need to slow down a lot. So we're about to reach our first stage as we speak right here. And there we go. There goes our side tanks. And now that bottom tank will drain fairly quickly, and we will have to ditch that too. I also took this time to do some more science, as we are burning an engine, which will allow us to recoup any electricity losses that we may have. Now here's another burn, and that's the end of this. Now we have Astra 15. Astra 15 is going to Odin Station. It has been a while since we have had anyone at Odin Station. It has been a while since we've had an Astra mission. We've just needed to restock our stations quite a bit. We've needed to improve basically everything that I've done with these. Like I have been neglecting on the Kerbal or crewed side of these missions, and I need to get back to that because, well, Kerbals want to go to space too, not just the ones that are currently up there and stuck up there that I haven't returned in ages. But the other ones that are stuck on the ground also want to go to space. So we need to do more Astra missions. As we go into our circularization burn, or our orbital insertion burn, our first stage will be on its way back any second now to land in the ocean. And there it is up in the top right hand corner, re-entering the atmosphere. Now we are about to complete our circularization. We will cut to the first stage. Now, there was a slight issue with the first stage. Actually, there's been a slight issue with the landing guidance when I was playing. It just wasn't working. So they were just hitting the ocean, which is fun. But the second stage is fine, and it will go all the way to Odin. Now, in the more close future, I would like to build out Odin a little bit more. I would actually like to deorbit some of the parts of Odin and replace them with much larger versions of that part for more stability in this station. It is a large station with lots of parts. I'd like to reduce the overall part count while keeping its size very similar. But here we go. There's our burn to get as close as we can to the station. There we go. Now we just need to go to the station. These small little burns are brought to you by the membership page. Yes, the membership page. You can actually watch videos days early. You can watch them days early if you sign up for a membership. I believe it's only 99 cents. You sign up for the membership, you will get multiple perks, one of which is early videos. So yeah, maybe think about it. Also, the Patreon's in the description if you want to do that one either. You could do either or. I think they're the same price. Anyway, we're going to warp till we reach the station. And we're going to slow down by doing a small burn in the retrograde direction. Actually, technically it's prograde, but retrograde in relative to the station. Here we are getting close. And there we go. Now I needed to open up the hatch and get our docking ports lined up. Go. Boom. Now we can line up to dock to the station. Now this was actually a pretty easy docking. I pretty much lined it up on complete accident, damn near perfectly. Now, as it approaches the station, very slowly, you'll see that there are only 2 Kerbals currently on board. That is because there is a third Kerbal currently sitting on the station, and it needs a way home. It currently has no way home. So, now there is a way home for it. Oh my gosh, what was that? That was the second stage. The second stage is currently coming in to re-enter the Kerbal atmosphere as we dock with the station. There we go. It is docked. And we can now transfer our Kerbals to the main station. Now, let's look at our first stage as it re-enters the atmosphere. There we go. It's heating up quite a bit. Wow, okay. That is quite hot. It is getting close to the surface, and it is very close to the KSC, which is very good for recouping our costs. You know, that's always great to recoup costs. And finally, we are back with the farm module, and it is circularizing around Minmus. Now we just need to get it to basically cross paths with our station, but there's an issue. Our station is going the opposite direction of the way that we are going, which means that it's going to be a very long burn in order to, a very long and very dangerous burn in order to encounter our station properly. Which leads me to my next issue. The issue is we don't actually end up docking, and we completely overshoot it. And yeah, this mission's gonna fail. Yeah, I kind of clickbaited this episode, if I'm not gonna be lying. I mean, we did send this. This is a thing that was sent, but it was a failure, and I will have to send another one, which is unfortunate, but it's spaceflight. Thankfully, no Kerbals were harmed, but I do think that 2 things will have to be done. We will need to completely redo the current Phoenix lineup of rockets, and I will need to look at my mission planning skills, because they seem to be lacking recently, if I'm being completely honest. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you for making it this far in the video. A like helps very much, and hey, I mean, you're this far, why not subscribe? Why not? You clearly enjoy the video, and if you're already subscribed, just comment something in the description. And I will see you next time. Goodbye!